If you've ever nailed the perfect trade entry only to watch it reverse on you seconds later, you're probably trading blind. Today, I'm going to show you the exact method pros use to avoid getting faked out. So remember to watch till the end and share the video with just one person you know who likes to trade. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hey, I'm Scott, and I've been a pro trader for 10 years. In these videos, I'm going to teach you everything I've learned so you don't have to learn the hard way. Remember to follow and share the channel, and also have your alerts on because I'm going to give you a lot of updates and you want to be the first to know. The first thing we're going to take a look at here that most traders have no clue on is traditional markets. Now, I don't care what you're trading, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's crypto of any kind, or traditional stocks, you absolutely must watch the ES futures. This is a representation of what traditional markets are doing, and if you're not watching this, if you have no idea what's going on in traditional markets, you risk entering an incorrect trend based on what the market's doing. Now, I'll explain this more. Let's keep it simple. You see this big dip of 30% right here? This was a time to be shorting Bitcoin, okay? For example, because traditional markets pulled back, all right? And then guess what? Bitcoin had a huge correction, all right? So positioning short, knowing what traditional markets are doing is a big deal. So that's part one of what you absolutely must understand in trading. Now, let's go to part two. Part two is using multiple time frames. If you don't use multiple time frames in your trading, you're just going to get completely wrecked over and over and over. Start with the highest time frame. Number one, start with at least the weekly time frame on anything you're trading. So let's look at Bitcoin. On the weekly time frame, what we can see here is very clear. It's like flying with GPS or navigation, all right? You know, Bitcoin, all it has to do is get over 109.5. If it gets over 109.5 and it holds above 109.5, we're probably going to go to 129,000, okay? That said, guess what? We're not above 109.5. It's acting as resistance right now. So that tells me that we could be looking at a deeper pullback if Bitcoin doesn't hold this trend line on the weekly time frame, okay? But using that, let's dive down into a smaller time frame, like go from the weekly down to the daily. Now on the daily time frame, what we have is Bitcoin is ranging in this parallel structure, and you can see right here that it's up against 109.5 that aligns with this downward channel. So technically a short from 109.5 makes sense, okay? You have to manage risk, not financial advice. Now, stay ahead of the game with real-time trade alerts. Hit subscribe and turn the notifications on so you're always the first to know about the latest stock and crypto moves. Your financial freedom is just one click away. Let's crush those gains together. If we hold this area and break above, shorts are going to get stopped out, and that's okay. Manage risk, take a paper cut, all right? Let longs keep going. So hedge shorts make sense from the top of this channel, all right? Longs make sense down here at support. For example, 106.5 makes sense for a long, all right, on the daily. 104.5 makes a lot more sense for a long position on the daily. And we have 100.4, another support on the daily that makes sense for a long. But the biggest long idea is a long from down here at 96.8, aligning with the 200 moving average on the daily pattern. Now, that might not come, but if you don't have all time frames pulled up, like the weekly, the daily, and we're about to jump into the 4 hour, then you're technically just taking trades, and it's like just playing roulette. You don't know which number the ball's going to land on. You might win sometimes, you might lose, you might not know why, okay? But this helps you know exactly where you are. Now, let's move over to the 4 hour, okay? Now see the different look? How much different does the 4 hour look than the daily or the weekly, right? So on the 4 hour, what you're looking at here is you can look at your indicators, but they're not as powerful on the higher time frame. So on this time frame, you've got SRSI up, so a little bit of momentum, but you've got RSI down, all right? And technically, what you want to see on this 4-hour time frame is you want to see Bitcoin break this downtrend, all right? If you're trading the 4-hour time frame, you cannot get lost in the sauce. In other words, you need to know, yes, Bitcoin's in this tiny little triangle pattern, all right? But what does it have to do with the big picture? Not a ton, all right? So you can be short against the high, probably look to take a long down here if it holds, but if it breaks, again, if this level breaks down, right, you got to go back to your daily pattern, and look, okay, if that level breaks down, I'm looking for 106.5. If that doesn't hold, 104.5. If that doesn't hold, 100.4. If we get a total nuke, I'm looking for 96.8 to take a long position. And the long position, by the way, you're going to hold until your target of 129K for Bitcoin. That's a target for Bitcoin, okay? So this is how to use multiple time frames in your trading. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. That's been your video upload for today. So what we're going to try is doing Trading Tuesdays with me, giving you trading concepts to really give your trading portfolio a lot of firepower, okay? But I'll continue to give you trade alerts and active altcoin entries and exits. Remember to share the video, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hey, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Also, click the link in the description. You can join the Financial Freedom Academy email list. We're going to give you free market updates every Wednesday, trading tips, and insider information you don't want to miss. Check it out.